everyone, and welcome to episode number 10 of Just Lying Around, a Detroit Lions podcast presented by the World of Football. I'm your host, Kyle Sutherland, and I am joined by my co-host, brother-in-law, Adam Snow. Real quick, I think someone's knocking. Adam, how are you doing today? I'll be right back.
Okay. Well, I guess while he takes care of that, everybody, I guess I'm doing fine. Had a nice long weekend. My brother got married, so we were busy doing that. We just watched a fantastic Lions victory today. That game just got wrapped up. I'm very excited to talk about it. And I also think it's very rude that Kyle would just shuffle on off to answer his door while we're in the middle of our podcast. But I see him. I don't know if he ordered a pizza. If he ordered something.
Oh, man.
Oh, God.
Man, I feel like a villain with that Aiden Hutchinson interception. Number one guy there.
I mean, I know you said your Amazon delivery guy, you were still waiting on your mask to get delivered, but what impeccable timing this Amazon driver must have had.
Well, I'll tell you what.
You're gonna wear that the whole show?
Yeah, I feel like a villain, so I'm gonna wear it.
It's gonna be real hard to take you seriously this episode. I just hope you can read your notes through that mask.
I'm good. All right, let's get on with today's show. We're gonna go over the Lions win against the Carolina Panthers and look at it against Week 6 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But first, we want to thank you for checking out our podcast, whether that's on YouTube channel or on your podcast platform of choice. You can find the World of Football and its many offerings of multiple social media platforms, and just check down in the description. I gotta take this off.
Is that thing? I think that thing's obstructing your mouth a little bit. You gotta take it off.
Yep. Let me just read this one line, and I'll take it off.
All right.
You can use our nifty timestamps, also located in the down in the description. So if you want to jump to a specific topic, we made it easy for you. So now let's begin this week's show. Give me 1 second.
All right. But yeah, everybody, of course, we're here to talk about the Detroit Lions. They got their big 42-24 point victory over the Panthers. Lions, we're hoping, you're playing an 0-4 team. Hopefully you treat them and beat them like a normal opponent. The Lions did not take the Panthers lightly by any stretch. We'll talk about that second half. Kind of a little lackadaisical at a couple points there, but nothing to worry about. But I felt pretty good after this win, Kyle. How about you?
Yeah, like I wasn't nervous like last week when we got a lead and got to the second half. I was like, oh God, here we go. But
no, in this game, that in that second half when they kind of started playing a little bit softer, it felt a little more like I was okay with that. I was like, this Panthers team, like, let them go down the field, let them get those points. They're just chewing up clock at this point. At no point did I feel nervous like I did last week against the Packers that this Panthers team could come back. And I'm sure I'll talk a little bit about like Bryce Young and a couple other players on that team that, I mean, they might have something in the future, kind of like what the Lions looked like last year. But for right now, this was a game Detroit should have and did win.
Yeah, it was. I wasn't worried at all. Second half when the Lions went out, they marched down the field, but nothing really happened. They kicked it away. Carolina got the ball. Nothing really happened for them. So, yeah, I wasn't too worried about anything. But, let's go over the stats here real quick, and we'll talk about what we saw during the game here. Kind of go quick here. Jared Goff, 28 for 236 yards with 3 touchdowns. David Montgomery, again, 19 carries for 109 yards and 1 touchdown. Sam Laporta kind of showed up again today. 3 receptions, 47 yards, 2 touchdowns. Josh Reynolds had 4 receptions for 76 yards and 1 touchdown. And on the Panthers side, we had Bryce Young for 25 of 41 for 247 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Chuba Hubbard had 9 carries for 35 yards, and Adam Thielen had a big day with 11 receptions for 107 yards and 1 touchdown. Total yards overall, Lions had 377 yards, Panthers had 342 yards, and time of possession, Lions had 31 minutes and 15 seconds, Panthers had 28 minutes and 45 seconds. So, yeah.
So can we start off real quick? I want to talk about Jared Goff. Probably the first thing you're going to see that stat line: 20 of 28, 236 yards, 3 touchdowns. Doesn't scream like elite quarterback, but watching him out there, and he took a couple of bad sacks just because whatever offensive line is kind of. I know Decker was hurt, so Decker let a guy slip by him a couple of times. But I mean, there were times Decker did what he was supposed to do, but a couple of times the guy slips by, it's going to happen. But Goff held onto the ball when he needed to. He made some really good throws. I can't even think of a couple bad throws. He had a couple of drops. Otherwise, he would have been like 22 of 28. So I just think Goff has been people are starting to recognize Goff for his play the last couple of years in Detroit. But I still think it's going unsaid that I won't call him a game manager, but he's being efficient. He's not going to put up the flashy numbers. He's got the 3 touchdowns. But the 236 yards doesn't scream like elite quarterback. But you watch his play, and those 20 passes he's making are gorgeous passes. Like that one touchdown to Reynolds in the back of the end zone. Fantastic. And then there was the play where they had like the double, like the handoff that turned into a pitch, like almost looked like a reverse kind of thing. Pitched it back to Goff again, and Goff threw that long touchdown to Laporta, another great ball, and just leading his tight end down the field like that. So Goff is looking so efficient, and it looks like he's actually having fun out there, which is extremely nice for a change for us Lions fans to see.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at that stat too. I think it's like only through 3 quarters. That fourth quarter, I felt like he really didn't do much. It was just let's give the ball to the running backs, whether it be Montgomery or even the other Reynolds on
Craig
the team.
Reynolds.
Yeah, he had a big day too. So yeah, like that stat line, I'd say it was through 3 quarters, and that ain't bad at all.
Like, and especially when you consider that, closer game. But I mean, you consider Amon-Ra being they let him sit, let him rest. You let Gibbs, who got hurt late in the week, sit. So they're dealing with a couple of big offensive injuries, but that didn't seem to deter them. We know they got some depth in some spots, and it's nice to see like Craig Reynolds come in. I know they had Knight come in, but he got hurt during the game. So it's nice to see that for a change for the Lions, like a guy goes down and we're not like, well, there goes the game. It's not like when Calvin Johnson would go down and we'd go, well, there goes our receiving threat. Like, that's all we had. I mean, one guy goes down, you still got Reynolds and Khalif Raymond. You still got Marvin Jones, who had a couple of catches, I believe, during the game. I figured he'd get a little more involved with Amon-Ra being out. Jameson Williams had a couple of catches, but nothing flashy yet. They're clearly waiting to unload that one. I was waiting for them to take something over the top, but clearly they're waiting on that. And I want to talk about Williams also in a sec, but I'll let you give your thoughts. But I just, it's nice for a change to see this depth of this team and not being nervous that, like, oh no, Montgomery's on the sideline and Gibbs is hurt. What are we going to do? Craig Reynolds stepped up. He was having great field vision. He was getting great blocking. He was also seeing a lot of holes open up, because you watch a lot of those replays. It was like there was nothing. Then all of a sudden, he kind of pops into like a hole that just appears, and he's gone. 5, 6, 7, 8 yards. So kudos to Craig Reynolds.
Yeah, like you said, like we have depth now. It's almost like I was watching Michigan game yesterday, and they rotated like second, third string people in. Almost felt like Lions are kind of getting that. Once we get this lead, we're gonna start resting our star makers, so they're not getting hurt. We'll put the second string in players in, kind of get them some touches, get them some feel for game time. So that way, if someone does get hurt, they kind of have the experience. So even on the defensive side, that defensive line how they're rotating the defensive line in and out. So yeah, it's good to have some depth now.
Yeah. And then I know you want to talk about the defense at some point. Let's give the defense some love there. Now, Aiden Hutchinson getting another interception. Heck of a play by him to kind of get in front of that tight end who was kind of doing the, block, like he was going out for a little bit of a screen pass, after making a block. But Hutchinson just sticking his bear claw of a hand out there and getting, tipping the ball and catching it. Fantastic play. And I think I just saw a stat that said he is the first player to ever, like, first defensive lineman to have like 3 or 4 interceptions in his first couple years in the league. Like, he's the first defensive lineman to do that. So Hutch has been special. I don't know if he'll end up being defensive player of the year, but he's playing his tail off. I mean, he got, after that interception, he took a hit and was, kind of limping a little bit, but he still came out there and he was still running full motor. It was great to see. And, Hutch has been, a great spot for that Lions defense.
Yeah, it's almost like that tight end was trying to do a chip block, but Hutchinson kind of held him in place so he couldn't run off. And Bryce Young, being inexperienced or a rookie, kind of threw it his way. Like, I wouldn't have done that, but I'm not a football player, so it was just a bad throw.
No offense, that's very evident. You're not a football player.
It was a bad throw by Bryce Young, so he'll learn.
It was bad. He's still a rookie. He's still going to make some mistakes, and I think even when the Lions, and I don't want to give him too much like flack, like, oh, he only got the yardage because the Lions played soft. I do think at some point he was going to make some throws. He had Thielen's still a great receiver. I figured Thielen and him would at least have that kind of connection today, where something was going to happen, and he did. They got open. He had some nice passes. But his rookiness showed. Yeah, he had the 3 touchdowns, but those 2 interceptions were pretty bad. I mean, the tip one could have easily ended up being incomplete. But, I mean, the one to where, was it Kirby Joseph had that other interception, right? Or Jacobs?
Jerry Jacobs.
So Jacobs, when he got that pick, that was just a bad throw. I mean, you just can't make that. And he should have been able to see Jacobs, kind of sneaking back up. The way Jacobs was playing that play, he was like on the guy down in the, we call it the flat or whatever. But then he kind of saw where the ball was going to go. He saw the way Bryce kind of set that up, and he's just like, oh, I'm going to hang back, and just got right in that throwing lane, picked it off. So, he's going to make rookie mistakes, but like I said, he showed flashes of he will be a very talented and fearful quarterback to go up against in the future. I'm just glad for a change that Lions defense didn't let him look like a superstar. But he got his. He didn't look awful, but he still looked like a rookie quarterback who's got a little ways to go.
Yeah, and he mentioned Thielen and how he was looking pretty good out there. But this defense, I don't know, like, why they thought let's play soft coverage versus Thielen, who's a veteran wide receiver in the slot. He's probably against Harris, I think, Will Harris, but it was like, what are you guys doing? It's like he's like 5 yards away from anyone else, and Bryce Young, he just had a field day out there with Thielen. So
I think, it's not like Thielen did a whole lot. Are you only upset because I have Thielen on my fantasy team this week and I was playing you? Is that the only reason like you were really upset? I think somebody called you out in our fantasy league group chat about that. That's the only reason you were upset about that, but I digress. But no, you can't cover. Thielen's going to be the go-to guy. He might be the slot guy, but he's the number 1 receiver of that team. That's who they should be really focused on. He still ended up with 100 yards, which I figured he would no matter what the Lions tried to do. But it seems like they got a couple other young receivers that they're also inexperienced. They dropped a couple balls and made some bad routes. It looked like a couple points, but I don't know. I mean, and then they said during the game, did you catch that Calvin Johnson gave them a pep talk before this week's game, which I thought was a little weird. But
yeah, that was. I don't know. I have to rewatch that. That doesn't seem right to me. I think it should have been Calvin Johnson talking to the Lions.
I think. I mean, I don't have a problem with him going and talking to another team. Like, that's fine. I mean, it's a little weird that it's against his former team the week they play each other. But I don't know. If it was just like, hey, look, you guys are a young group. Keep your heads high. You're 0-4. Probably going to be 0-5 after you face my Lions. But hey, like, just go out there and play your best. So maybe that's all it was. I don't want to read too much into it. I'm sure people will, but and then you also mentioned a guy I want to quickly talk about, and then again throw it back to you because I don't want to overshadow your thoughts. But Will Harris, I want to give Will Harris not a full apology, but Will Harris, I'm proud of you this week. I thought he made a couple of really good plays. Yeah, maybe he played a little soft on Thielen at times. There were a couple plays where I saw Will Harris making a couple of really good plays, and I was like, it's about time I didn't have to sit here and go, darn it, Will Harris, you're screwing up another play, letting a guy get downfield. I thought he played tough, and he had his, he was like a heat-seeking missile at a couple points finding the football. So I want to give Will Harris a little bit of love this week, and I hope it continues to trend in the positive direction.
Yeah, well, not me, because he gave up some big plays. Like I saw one big throw down the field, and of course it was Will Harris right there to tackle him. Like, I can't wait for Brian Branch to be back. That's all I gotta say.
I can't wait either. But I'm gonna give Will Harris a pass this week. I'm gonna give him a thumbs up for the first time, and I can't even remember the last time I gave Will Harris a thumbs up for his play.
Okay. All right. Let's move on here. The defensive running game, or defensive side, the running, stopping the rush or whatever. They seem pretty good, but today they gave up 99 yards, which isn't bad still. But
nah, I think a lot of that came towards you when they were playing that softer defense in the third quarter. I mean, I get wanting to play it. You were up by, what was it at halftime? It was 28-10 at the half, so you're up 3 scores at the least. So I see where they're like, we don't want to play too aggressive, but we also don't want to, let them score. So they kind of played this halfway prevent defense again, like they did against Green Bay. And this week, like I said, it just felt like Carolina wasn't going to be like the Packers, where they had a couple of playmakers that you were like really nervous about. I can't explain it. Like, I just, in my gut, I didn't have that same feeling. Like when the Packers were moving, I was like, I don't like this feeling. I don't like what's happening. But with the Panthers, I wasn't ever in panic mode. I wasn't afraid of them making the comeback at any point.
Yeah, and also you look at Bryce Young. I checked his stats for the other 3 games he played, and kind of ran a couple times, but today he didn't run at all. So good on the Lions for making sure he didn't take off and try to run. So that's good on their part.
But I mean, but back to the run stopping. It's been nice to see a Lions team not let a running back. I mean, who was it? What was the running back's name that was getting a bulk of those carries? It wasn't Miles Sanders. It was the other guy. I mean, there was Chuba Hubbard. Yeah. But there was that other player who they were kind of, was like their version of Deebo Samuel. He was kind of doing a lot of stuff. He was like receiver. Then he played some running back. Wasn't Charbonnet. What was his last? Chenault, maybe? But I mean, I digress. That guy, he was all over the place. And every time, number 5, I want to say, but every time he seemed to get the ball, he could run it. And I'm surprised they didn't keep going to him at a couple points. I was like, dang, he's kind of like Montgomery, where gets ahead of steam and he's really tough to take down. So I'm a little surprised they didn't stick with that at a couple of points. But yeah, again, that third quarter, that's something they still got to address. I mean, luckily they held the Panthers to no points either in the third quarter, which is what you want. But also for Detroit, I felt like they missed some opportunities to. I get you want to be a good sport and not bury the other team in points, but come on, Detroit, you need to at least not become anemic. Like, I was really hoping I didn't need to see Jack Fox today. I didn't need to see a punt. So I don't know. I think that's something they could still work on. And they got a team next week we'll talk about that you can't do that against. So, yeah.
Yeah, even when they got the ball and third quarter started, like they marched down the field, but did they get a couple penalties that kind of like caused them to go backwards or something? But I felt like, all right, it's kind of different, but then they kind of just stalemated at the end and didn't really do anything. But they stopped the Carolina offense, which good on their part there. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then there was a couple of those penalties, like the roughing the passer penalty.
Oh Jesus.
I didn't agree with that. I mean, it was. I think they only called it because a second guy just happened to like be there. I don't think it impacted anything. So I thought that was a crappy call. And what was the other one? There was one other one that led to the touchdown. Or was that was the one that essentially kept the drive going and led to that one touchdown? But I felt like there was one more I'm forgetting at the top of my head. Hey Frank, that.
Yeah. Well, they had two roughing the passer penalties on them today, which you look at them both and it's like, come on, you can't even.
I understand the second one a little bit. I mean, I get it. It
No,
was his
I don't.
shoulder into the face mask, but you just can't hit him in that region. It doesn't matter. You got to get a little lower, I guess. There's no winning in that situation.
Bryce Young is the shortest quarterback in the league. How low do you need to go? Like, come on. It's not like he.
Yeah.
I guess you could call them because who tackled him? Was it
that second one was Anzalone getting in his face?
He kind of lifted him up a little bit, but it wasn't like
I don't even think he lifted him. I just think when he got into his face, his shoulder just hit him in his face mask, and that was it. Like, it's not like he hit him with an elbow or anything, or hit him with a forearm. Yeah. It was just kind of where he went like that, trying to swipe the ball. He just kind of got him with the shoulder, which I don't agree with, but I could see why you would call that getting hit in the face there, but whatever.
Well, it was. I don't know if it's sooner or later it's just going to turn into like a two-hand touch on the quarterback and it's down, but
just put him in a 2-2 and don't touch him. Like, just get it over with, NFL.
They're going to have to do something because some of these outrageous penalties on these sacking the quarterback are kind of getting a little ridiculous.
It really is. And then, which was your favorite? I'll call them trick plays. I'll put quotes around them. Was it the double pitch touchdown pass to Laporta, or was it Goff at the line doing this thing and having the ball snap between his legs and going straight to Montgomery for that one run?
Yeah, I saw it, but I didn't realize what happened. I don't think the announcers saw it either.
To rewind it. We had to rewind it after a couple plays. Yeah, we rewound the game because Dad was over watching it, and I was like, I'm pretty sure it had to have been snapped under his legs, right? And my dad's like, well, I think it might have gotten snapped to the side. But when we watched it, it was like, nope, perfectly between Goff's legs, straight back to Montgomery. I'm surprised more teams don't do that because all Goff had to do was stand right against the backside of Ragnow and start directing traffic there. And just while everybody's paying attention to him, ball gets snapped. Like, it seems like a play that like more teams should be doing. Kind of like the tush push. But more people should be doing and we need a cool name for that one, the Goff fake between Goff's legs.
Yeah, and it's good seeing Williams out there too. He did have a couple catches, but he had a couple drops or a couple fingertip grabs he could have grabbed. But
I want to commend him on. I'm not going to say he was the perfect blocker, but he had a couple good enough. Ones. I'm not going to say he like pancaked the guy. I mean, at one point, it just looked like he was having a slap fight with a defender. But it was enough to create the space for, I think Reynolds was on that play, I want to say, where Reynolds kind of was coming up field, and you could see Williams hand fighting with another guy. I mean, that's a block. That's keeping that defender from getting into that lane. And I think Williams did a good enough job in a couple of spots where you needed that hole to be open up, and he was there to at least create the space. It might not have been the prettiest block, and I think at one point I saw him kind of get what was coming to him because he's such a frail-looking guy, but I want to commend him for doing that. And sure, he only got a couple of catches, maybe a drop in there, but I mean, that one he had, he would have been pancaked by that linebacker had he caught it, but ease him back in. I thought maybe he'd get a little more action with Amon-Ra out, but I'm fine with what he got this week. And while disappointed they didn't go over the top to him, save it. You got time. The season is young, and that play will come. And Ben Johnson will know when that time is. And I think we all just got to be patient.
Yeah. Like, it's his first game back, so I expect a little more next week. He'll probably get Gibbs back, Amon-Ra back, so you're going to have a lot more tools at your disposal, more more things to the defense to look out for. So yeah, but I also want to say about Khalif Raymond. He had a pass block for a running play, but it was one where he had to go inside and towards the line and kind of stop someone, but it was like a lineman, so he kind of bounced into him.
Oh, I didn't
Kind
see
of like
that.
it was funny.
If you see that, please send it to me. I didn't
Yeah.
see that one. But anything else from this game before we talk about next week's opponent?
No. Overall, it was a pretty laid back game. Like, I wasn't too worried once they started rolling there at the beginning. But yeah.
Doesn't it feel nice? I mean, that game. I mean, yeah, they let them score 24 points, but wasn't it fun? I
Yeah.
can't remember the last time I've been having a couple of weeks of fun watching Lions football. It's been nice. I know that feels weird saying wearing Honolulu blue, but it's like I just found myself sitting there today watching the Lions take care of the Panthers. Yeah, the Panthers scored a couple times, but I was having fun watching the Lions. Like, it feels nice to say. It feels nice to feel that for a change. Our lovable losers are now the talk of the league, and everybody's loving on the Lions.
Yeah, we'll see how they rank after the Cowboys face off against the 49ers. See who wins that
Yeah,
one.
we'll
So
see. Like,
yeah.
I'm not concerned right now. Like, are the Lions the third or fourth best team? I don't care right now. I just want them to keep. What do they keep saying? Keep that Dan Campbell mentality. Keep stacking the wins. Just focus on the next opponent. Go out, win that game, and just go on from there. Everything else is just noise. So as of right now, I'm focused on. Look, we're 4-1. It feels good. Let's focus on Tampa Bay. They've had a bye this week, so now we got a team who's going to be coming in fresh. So we got to really button up because we're going up against a fresh team. And I know we're
Oh
going to
yeah.
dive into that game in a second, but you see Jared Goff's like interview after the game, just the way they're handling everything is refreshing, and like I'm all about like the humble, like, look, we haven't done anything. Yeah, it's nice and it feels good, but we haven't done anything and we're still working on things. And I'm right there with them, and it's fun to watch.
Yeah, that's kind of Dan Campbell's mentality too. He's like, all right, that's just one win. Let's focus on the next one. Let's not worry about what we did in the past or what our record is. Let's just worry about the next game. Let's not worry about too far in the future. And yeah, that's good that like the players are in that mentality too, or thinking like mentality. So yeah, it's good to see.
Yep.
But yeah, let's talk about week 6, Lions versus the Buccaneers. It is Sunday, October 15th. It was slated for 1 p.m., but they flexed it to 4:25 p.m. Because both teams only have one loss now. So it should be a good game. It's on Fox. So yeah. And yeah,
Yeah,
like you said, Buccaneers are coming off a bye week, so they should be healthy, ready to roll. We'll see if who's their wide receiver that was hurt.
Mike Williams.
Not Mike
Mike
Evans.
Williams was dinged up. We'll see if he comes back. Baker's been playing pretty decent. Baker, I mean, say what you will about him, the dude's playing with a chip on his shoulder, and I'm liking watching Baker play. I think this will be a tough Tampa team to play. The 3-1 record. I do think this is a game Detroit. I won't say should win, but this is a very winnable game for Detroit. It'll be tough, but I don't expect the Lions to hang 42. I'm kind of
No.
expecting a game more in like the mid 20s, maybe even the teens. It could be that kind of knock them out, drag them out fight between these two teams. But yeah, depending on if Mike Williams comes back, that we gotta hope that our cornerbacks are ready for a game like that. A couple of deep threats between him and then Godwin, who's kind of their version of Adam Thielen that we played this week, because he's going to be getting open and doing a lot of the slants and stuff. So we'll have to see. I'm hoping Aaron Glenn's got a game plan for him.
Yeah, I mean, if we get Brian Branch back, we get Jameer Gibbs back, amon-ra back, might see if Vitae comes back this week.
They said he was good this week, but they just held him out another week. So I'm wondering if he'll be back this upcoming week against the Bucs.
Yeah,
and then don't forget also the Buccaneers. Real quick, the Buccaneers are going to be wearing those creamsicle uniforms, Kyle. So they're going to look sharp. I'm very excited to see this. The creamsicle's coming back.
So that's an automatic win for the Lions. So let's just pack it up.
let's not get too cocky. Come on, man. Come on.
But yeah. Also, hopefully Manuel Mosley went down on his first play back. So hopefully it's nothing too serious. I know they were kind of worried that it was the same leg as his ACL, but it was his other leg. So hopefully it's nothing bad.
At least he was able to walk off under his own power. And thoughts out to I forget the name of the player for the Panthers who went down early in the game. They said that was a scary scene there for a minute. I guess he something happened with his neck. It happened so quick, and I never went back to see exactly what happened in the replay. But I just him putting his thumb up on the gurney on the cart going out, was a good sign. So at least he had feeling. I think they had said during the game he had feeling in his extremities, so that's a good sign. So wishing him the best. I just wish I knew his name at the top of my head.
Yeah, it seemed like he went down, and then the play after, Emmanuel Mosley went down.
It was like the very next play. Yeah.
All right, that's enough people getting hurt for today. Let's
get rid of the turf. It's the sticking turf. Let's get this out of here. All grass. Yep. Let's do it.
Yep.
Come on.
All grass everywhere.
Sheila, let's get the grass in there, Sheila. We can afford it.
Yeah. Let's just not be like the Arizona Cardinals and overwater the grass. So we don't need that.
That was the Cardinals' fault. That was the Super Bowl sod man, whatever they call him.
Oh yeah,
the sod fault. That was all his fault.
But I think that's it for us this week. Got anything else, Adam?
Nah, we should be good. I'm proud of you for, taking that ski mask off. I'm pretty sure you wouldn't have been able to have full sentences for most of the show wearing that thing. You probably would have overheated. Your brain probably would have fried. But are you going to bring that to the Lions-Raiders game when we go?
Well, I might have to cut bigger eyelids out of it so I can see, but maybe we'll see.
And if you're going to do it for the podcast, you might have to make the mouth hole a little bigger.
Just cut a big hole in it.
There you go.
All right. Well, yeah, I guess that's it. Adam, you want to close it out?
Sure, I'll close it out, buddy. All right. We hope you enjoyed listening to today's episode / watching today's episode and come back to watch us again. Be sure to visit the World of Football's website, theworldoffootball.com, for news, links, upcoming events, original articles, videos, and more. If you want to get in touch with us, send an email to info@theworldoffootball.com, or you can connect with us by either liking our Facebook page, going over to the X account now, and interacting with us over there. You can find those links down in the description. Also, be sure to check out our flagship podcast on the World of Football. This week in the World of Football, those episodes are up every Tuesday. Me and Randy go at it, talk about everything in the world of football, not just the Lions, but we're all over the place. There's a lot of big stories from the Canadian Football League we're going to talk about. The Arena Football League coming back. We're going to talk some of that. And, plenty of NFL stuff happening too. So we'll get you covered there. You can find that wherever good podcasts can be found, as well as the YouTube channel. So, again, all those links are down in the description, and we hope to see you there.
All right. And that's it for this week. These are back in stock in Amazon, so if you want to get one, get it now, because a couple more wins are going to be sold out again. But, yeah. I don't know about you guys, but Dan Campbell's got me almost. Maybe next couple episodes I'll have a brick wall laid out and I'm going to run through it for you guys. So
I do kind of want to see that. I'd pay good money to see you run through a brick wall.
I'm just going to have to get some football pads. So yeah. Well, yeah, that's it for this week. Okay. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that stuff. And we'll see you next week. Hopefully with another Lions victory. So, yeah, go Lions.
Go Lions.